Not bad. Not bad.
I'm happy you following, but we got a problem with Shandar. I really need... Oh, you here, guys. Oh, let's go now. So we found a broken sword.
Ha! Found you.
Where is Gore? I guess I'm gonna have to wait till he's debugging himself. Oh, I got something I can debug him.
What was that?
There is something to debug them.
What can I do for you, friend? Yes? No need to get rough.
That's for debugging purpose.
I suppose it won't hurt the girl to eat it this once.
Oh, here
And
is he.
speaking of spoiling Dorothy, who made her a new doll
What do you need?
last week?
Just mind about that.
Okay, let's go now. I'm not touching anything anymore. Because now it's about the 4th time I restart the game from the beginning. But now I understand what's going on. I understand really. So when you use mod organizer and you use loot to have a load order, in a sense it renames, I mean it gives a number to the plugin file. So if you change your load order, this number change, and then the way it's referenced in your save game is not the same anymore. So that's why there's a LOD problem. I hate that, man. I didn't have this problem before.
Somebody help!
You can't win this!
Is that a bandit?
That help?
Why this guy is attacking us like that? Seriously.
Yes, father. Groom her too?
You know I did.
You clean out that muck?
Yes, Father, I did.
And yeah, I mean, I installed this thing really randomly like that, just for fun. But the thing is, there is a lot to it that I didn't know about. I mean, I didn't take the time really to dig it.
They say Yorland Greymane
Oh, you
crafts
here.
weapons that can make heroes out of beggars. I'd like to see him turn Embry into a dragonborn.
I'm happy to hear you, man. I thought you was lost. So where is the girl? We need our girl with us too. Because really, I don't want no other than you three as followers. You're absolutely awesome, and really thank you to those who developed them, created you. It's very enjoyable. You really fits my needs.
I wanted to give you this, a token of my appreciation.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. Some flowers, thank you. So we have the dragon stone, and we'll bring it back again so we can buy the house, because we need to buy this house to be able to buy our farm. And even the house, I found a mod that can change it, how it's made inside, make it more to my taste. The thing is, we don't need Lydia. I've been searching the internet how to get rid of her. Seems like we have to kill her or disable her, so it's not very cute. It's not very already. Oh, yeah, the blonde girl. She's not dead anymore. We didn't kill her yet.
Had enough of fish and fowl?
Ripe fruit
Treat
and fresh
yourself and your kin
vegetables
to
for
a
sale.
choice cut of steak or a tender rack of ribs.
So we're gonna try, as we have a second chance again.
What brings you to
We're gonna try to find a way to not kill her and get back get the letter without killing her. It's not so cute. I'd like to purchase a home, 15,000. Way too
Splendid.
expensive.
There's a house available right now.
I'll take it. Thank you.
Wonderful. Here's the key to your new home.
Tell me about the city district.
Well, there are 3 of them, arranged in 3 tiers, as you may have noticed. The Plains District is so named because it's the closest of the 3 to the plains that surround the city. The inn and marketplace are found there. Most of the city's residents live in the Wind District, which is the middle of the 3. Dragon's Reach occupies the highest, which we call the Cloud District. From here, the Jarl can see all that goes on within his city.
Okay,
Enjoy
thank
your
you.
visit to Dragon's Reach.
I used to mod the game since a while, but I've never been so extreme. And I mean, I never done it too much scientifically. Now it's very scientific. You know, otherwise, maybe if it didn't get that deep into the technical improvement of the game, I would not have any interest playing it. But the thing is now, so much work has been added to it. I really appreciate, not as a gamer, even as an artist, because this is the kind of thing I like to do. Texture, damage texture. I know all the work that this represents, so it's not just the visual enjoyment. The thing is, if I was doing things like that myself, I would put way too much polygons, and so it would be unplayable. But yeah, it's, oh yeah, I wanted to capture this one. Well, I mean, the guys didn't know, maybe because they play. You see, they done good. They done a good job. I'm not too much happy with this stone wall. I'm not too much happy about it. I would have not done something like that. It's very noisy, and it's way too sharp on the corners. Other than that, I really like the look, the general look of it. But we all have different tastes, so it's not so obvious to make something that will please everyone.
Selection looks very delicious. I'll take an apple.
So this is our old home, Whiterun home. We have the keys. And now it's a different place. You see, it's way different. The fireplace is on the corner here. And we already have a separation here. I wish I could put some beds for my followers. That's why I can't really enjoy this place, because there's no space for my followers. Dragon Language Meet No More by Tris Verse. Dragon, the very word conjures nightmare images of shadowed skies, hideous roaring and endless fire. Indeed, the dragons were terrifying beasts that were once as numerous as they were deadly. But what most Nords don't realize is that the dragons were in fact not simple, mindless beasts indeed. They were a thriving, intelligent culture, one bent on the elimination or enslavement of any non-dragon civilization in the entire world. It therefore stands to reason that the dragons will require a way to communicate with one another, that they would need to speak, and through much research, scholars have determined that this is exactly what the dragons did. For the mighty roars of the beast, even when those roars contained fire or ice, or some other deadly magic, were actually much more. They were words in an ancient, thought decipherable tongue. Nonsense, you say, sheer folly on the part of some other eager academics. I thought precisely the same thing. But then I started hearing rumors, the hot snippet of a conversation from some brave explorer or gold-coveting crypt diver. And always it was the same word repeat, wall. So I listened more. I began to arrange the piece of the puzzle and slowly unravel the mystery. Spread throughout Skyrim in ancient dungeons, burial grounds and other secluded places, there are walls, black ominous walls of which is written a script so old, so unknown, none who had encountered it could even begin its translation. In my heart, I came to know the truth. This was proof of the ancient dragon language. For what else could it possibly be? It only made sense that these walls were constructed by the ancient Nords who had lived in the time of the dragons, and out of fear or respect, had somehow learned and used the language of the ancient beast. But at that point, all I had was my own gut instinct. What I needed was proof. True began the adventure of my life, one spanning 17 months, and the death of 3 courageous guides and 2 sellsword protectors. But I chose not to dwell on those grim details, for the end result was so glorious. It made any hardship worth it. In my travels, I found many of the ancient wars, and every suspicion proved true. It did in fact appear as if the ancient Nords had copied the language of the dragons of old, for the characters of that language very much resemble claw marks or scratches. One can almost envision a majestic dragon using his great sharp talons carved symbols into the stone itself. And a human witness, possibly even a thrall or servant, learning, observing, so that he too could use the language for his own hands. For as I observed the walls, I noticed something peculiar about some of these words. It was as if they pulsed with a kind of power, an unknown energy that, if unlocked, might be harnessed by the reader. That sounds like nonsense? I know. But if you had stood by these walls, seen their blackness, felt their power, you would understand that of which I speak. Thankfully, although entranced, I was able to retain enough sense to actually transcribe the characters I saw. And in doing so, I began to see patterns in the language. Patterns that allowed me to decipher what it was I was reading. For example, I described the following passage. Assigning the scratching to actual Tamilic language character. I further translated what I saw into this. Et not ignavar gahar kodahav hu dre ya moron o frodu crozis nuz sinon sihiv dinok ar dukahan, which translated into Tamilic as follows. Here lies Ingnavar Ghost Beer, who did seek glory on the battlefield of sorrows, but instead found death and dishonor. Then, in another crypt, I encountered a wall with this transcription, which translated into Et nok koprahan du iglyph liz sos, who grind ok oblahan niko morokei vukin nuz hast munaz Ahalvut du lihiv krasahar, which ultimately translates into the Tamilic as here lies the body of Iglyph Ice Blood, who met his hand not in glorious combat, but at the cruel touch of the withering sickness. And there you see the pattern, the repeated words, here lies, which could only mean one thing. Those words marked actual ancient Nord burial ground. You can imagine my nearly uncontainable excitement. It all started to make sense. The ancient Nords used the dragon language for those words for very specific reasons. One of them was obviously to mark the grave of some important figure. But what else? Were they all graves, or did they serve other purpose as well? I set off to find out and was well rewarded for my efforts. Here is where I discovered this passage. Translated into Et ma Tarodis, Tafihir, Sorgi, Lun, Sinak, when Clove, Grovehead, Nahal, Rinik, Akun, Rock, Togahat, Wa, Garot, which in Tamilic translate into this. Here fell the treacherous thief, Sorgi Lish Finger, whose head was removed by the very axe he was attempted to steal. So here we see a wall that marks the spot where some significant ancient Nord died. This passage translates into this. Kesegol varukiv dahanik falihil kir du gravun frod wu bovul ko maha nol kinson sakri du kruzihik koron, which in Tamilic translates into this. This stone commemorates the doomed elf children of the autumn field, who fled in terror from the sharp swords of the ancient enemy. This wall seems to commemorate some ancient, long-forgotten event in Tamilic history. Whether that event occurred on or near the place where the wall was erected, we will probably never know. And finally, this passage, which translates into this: Haesa Walahan Kel Segol Brihin Nahi Varut Tohild Hi Fin Tuhor when Smolihin Ag Frin Por Sako Hem, which in Tamilic translate into this: Ahesa raised this stone for her sister, for Hild the Inferno, whose passion burned hot as the red forge. This wall, and I encountered quite a few like this, was obviously commissioned or built by a specific person to honor someone important to them. What was the significance of the location? Was it important to the person who died? Or is it the actual location of that person's death? Again, those answers are probably lost to time and will never be known. And so you see, the ancient dragon language is indeed myth no more. It existed. But better yet, it still exists and probably will until the end of time, thanks to the ancient Nords and their construction of these many world walls. But don't take my word for it, for the walls are there for the discovering in Skyrim's dangerous secret places. They serve as a bridge between the realm of the ancient Nords and our own. The dragons may never return to our world, but now we can return to theirs. And someday, we may even unlock the strange, unknown power hidden in their worlds. Okay, guys, hope you like this one. Was by Word of Power, Words of Word, Words of Power, and Words of Words. Pretty interesting. Oh, this is some skill books. King by Raven. Gentle reader, you will not understand a word of what follows unless you have read and committed to memory the first 3 volumes in this series, Beggar, Thieves, and Warrior, which lead up to this. Beggar, Thieves, and Warrior. So let's see.